I'm going to tell something about the Marquis de Salamanca in English. But remember, Spanish is a piece of cake, but English is really difficult, okay? I'm going to try. Okay, the Marquis of Salamanca, the name is José de Salamanca y Mayol, was our Rockefeller, the richest man in Spain. It was a roller coaster of finance with financial ups and downs. He made his fortune and lost it several times. One writer says that in one occasion he fled to France and he was introduced to Alexander Dumas, and he commented, "Had I met you before, instead of writing the Count of Monte Cristo, I would have written the Marquis of Salamanca." His house was in the Paseo de Recoletos. Now is the BBVA Foundation. It was an impressive palace. It was built by the architect, the famous architect Narciso Pasquali Colomer. He built Las Cortes and the posh buildings in the Plaza Oriente. And the palace was inaugurated in 1858. There were spectacular parties, and the palace had a majestic staircase, columns, ceiling frescoes, marble, and so on. He had other palaces like Vista Alegre in the south of Madrid, Albacete, Lisbon, Paris, and Rome. His life. The Marquis was born in Malaga in 1811, and he studied philosophy and law in Granada. He met liberals who opposed Fernando VII, and he was named Juez of Pera in Almeria, and he was a member of the Parliament from Malaga and Alicante. Firstly, and the money, the most important. Firstly, he ran the government's monopoly on salt. He had a profit of 20 million of reales to the crown. Now it's about 100 million euros. Secondly, and the most important thing, he refinanced a Spanish debt in London. For this reason, because Spanish have problem with the money in that case, because we had wars, Carlist wars in that era, and for this reason Isabel II gave him the title of Marquis de Salamanca and Count of Llanos. He took part in the construction of the second train in Spain from the Madrid to the Aranjuez, and this place was really important for the crown because there is a summer palace in Aranjuez, and he invested money in the railroads. In addition, he founded a new bank, the Isabel II. On one occasion, he made a profit of 30 million in the stock market. They were winning thousands of people. They implored him for a period of time to pay off their debts. But then the Marquis said the words from Victor Hugo's play, "Perdono a tutti," and he proceeded to tear up the stock certificates. But the General Narváez shared in the illness. He became his enemy. And the General Narváez was a conservative, and the Marquis of Salamanca was liberal. The Marquis of Salamanca tried to force the Queen to depose Narváez, and he conspired about two generals and was discovered, and the police went to arrest him. The Marquis of Salamanca ran away to the Denmark and Belgian legation. You know that they have diplomatic immunity, but the embassy was searched because the ambassador permit that. But the police didn't find him, and he was under the consul's desk. One writer said that. Days later, he ran away to France. Later, the government in Spain changed under the General Espartero and General O'Donnell, and he came back. In 1860, he founded the Royal Portuguese Railway Company, invested money in railways in France and Germany, but the most important thing, he also invested in the United States, in the Atlantic and Great Western Railroad. And if you look at the map of the New York, a town with the name of Salamanca will appear, and also a train station with his name. The Salamanca rail station was inaugurated in 1862, and Salamanca town was renamed in his honor. He invested a lot of money in the Salamanca district, but had problems with the materials. And because of these problems, people didn't want to invest in that neighborhood. For this reason, he burned down his own building and built it again. After the death of his wife, Petronila Livermore Salas, everything changed. He had problems with debt, and he was forced to sell off his art in France, paintings from Velázquez, 17 Velázquez, 4 Goyas, Madrazos, and so on. On the other hand, at the same time, he invited Alphonse XII to the Vista Alegre Palace for free 1 week. Finally, the crash came, and he was forced to sell. He lost 150 million in 1 day. He sold his palace and stayed in Vista Alegre. When he died in Vista Alegre in 1882, his family had to sell his statues and furniture to pay his funeral. This has been a summary of the life of the Marquis of Salamanca. Next day I will tell you the story about the gardens of the palace of Vista Alegre, which you can now visit in Madrid. And if you want more information about the Marquis of Salamanca, I leave you some links below this video. Okay, bye bye.